Hi friend, welcome back to News Channel 101. Today we have bad news. The world is scary and hard to deal with, and world events are hard to understand, so we're going to highlight the worst of the worst to scare you into watching, because good news doesn't get views. So, let's get right into it. We interrupt your regularly scheduled scariness with a breath of fresh air. Hello everyone, my name is SD, and today on the Feel Good News Network, we have a few stories to run just to help you feel a little bit better about the world. And you know you can trust me because of the soothing tone of my voice and my casual t-shirt opposed to a suit. So, let's begin with our first story today. Scientists have noticed a 125-fold increase in the population of monarch butterflies that are migrating south. A 35% increase has been recorded in the numbers from last year. This is a great jump for the population. As I'm sure many of you know, monarchs lay their eggs in milkweed, which is a type of plant that is native to the area in which I live. So every year I love to see all of the butterflies migrating. They always stop in our garden at the butterfly bushes that we plant, and they drink nectar there, and they hang out. And when I was younger, we would catch them in our nets, and we would pull them out, and we would look at them, and we'd get a real good look. And now I like to take pictures of them and appreciate them as they fly by south for the winter. Our next story is on Taco Bell. Now, if you're not an American, I don't know what kind of Taco Bell situation you have in your country, but it is a fast food Mexican cuisine place over here in the States. And they have recently decided to bring back the fan favorite Mexican pizza. Now, from what I understand, it's been quite a few years since we've seen the Mexican pizza on the menu. I myself have never had a Mexican pizza, but now that they are back on the menu, I am sure that I will make the stop over to Taco Bell to try out the delectable cuisine. In other good news, researchers at the Cockrell School of Engineering and College of Natural Sciences have used machine learning to model and generate a mutation to a naturally existing enzyme that would allow it to consume plastic. Now that was a lot of fancy words that I myself don't understand entirely, but what this would entail is a modified enzyme that could break down plastic just by existing. So I'm thinking if we released a bunch of these enzymes into an area where plastic pollution was rampant, we could see these enzymes break down that plastic and reduce the amount of pollution in that area. Along those same lines of plastic waste reduction, the company Unilever, who produces a lot of health products like toothpaste, has pledged to make recyclable toothpaste tubes by the year 2025. These toothpaste tubes would be seen all across the United States and would be 100% recyclable. Switching gears here now a little bit to something that hits a little closer to home for me. The country of Ireland. Now, if you're English, I don't know how you feel about Ireland, but this is something cool that I think they're doing. 2,000 artists will receive an allowance of $355, or I suppose pounds over there. A weekly allowance of £355 to continue and further their artistic endeavors. It is a new pilot initiative which is set to take place in the coming next 3 years. I think this is a really cool initiative that Ireland is trying to do. The country and the government is understanding the value of art, and they're understanding how important it is for people to engage in culture and produce things that are of value to a society like art. So I really hope that this program is broadened for more artists, and I hope that other countries take note of the good work that Ireland is doing here, and we start placing more value on the art that people create, opposed to just the advances in technology, medicine, and things like that. Of course, those are incredibly important, but I don't ever want art to fall to the wayside. The Brooklyn Public Library is making library cards available to all United States citizens ages, I believe, 16 to 21. This is in an effort to reduce the number of people that are being affected by the book bans across the United States. So, if you aren't privy to the situation, many books are being banned all across the nation for some of their more explicit content or themes relating to race and gender identity and sexuality. The Brooklyn Public Library is taking this initiative to ensure that people all across the nation have access to these books should they want to read them. One of these books was actually banned at my old high school. For a brief while, they put the book under review, and then they decided, after reading it, after the school board took a look at it, they decided that the book was probably okay for the public and for their children to read. So I'm glad they did that, but the Brooklyn Public Library taking this step to ensure that more and more people have access to the titles that they need to be reading is a really great thing. Now for some video gaming news. Playing Pokemon Go or similar location-based games is proven to alleviate non-clinical forms of mild depression. Now, I don't know about you, but I had a great time playing Pokemon Go back in the day. It was quite a few years ago now, but I thought it was a lot of fun. I'm not really big into Pokemon. I don't know any of the names or anything, but walking around, being outside, and throwing the Pokeballs at the little characters, it's fun. Getting people outside and encouraging physical activity outside and encouraging face-to-face interaction with people has led to this decline in non-clinical forms of mild depression. A similar game involving the Pikmin video game franchise is now becoming popular, where you walk around and plant flowers. I know my mom plays that game, so I think that's another great example of games that are getting people outside and excited to walk around and exercise a little bit. Now for some food news. DiGiorno, the frozen pizza brand, makes breakfast pizza. Now, I didn't know about this until I was looking for good articles to bring you guys today. But DiGiorno does in fact make a few breakfast pizzas. The one flavor, well, the one style, I should say, style that I can see here is an Eggs Benedict style frozen pizza with a croissant crust. That sounds good, I'm not gonna lie. Some people are wary of the frozen pizza, and I get it, not for everybody, but for 19-year-old me, I'm gonna try the pizza. So, what's next here? In Italian news, for all of you Europeans, we have a bear that has been visiting its favorite bakery. A few weeks ago, a bear visited a bakery in Italy, and when the owner of the bakery called her husband to alert him to the situation, he probably asked her, "Have you been drinking?" But no, there really was a bear in her bakery eating sweets. The bear was named Juan, just so that you all know. I think that's excellent. And the bear was airlifted via helicopter to a national park about 24 miles or 40 kilometers away. It was taken away for just a few days when the bear found its way back into this picturesque little ski town, back into this bakery to devour some more sweets. Similar action was taken to remove the bear a second time. That's some of the best news that I've heard maybe in my entire life. I've only had a few experiences with bears, and the one story I do have is quite funny. I was out camping in a state park in Pennsylvania with my family when a black bear, strode through the campground. the bear walked over to a picnic table that had all of my neighboring campsite's food out on the table ready for dinner. The bear sat down at the picnic table as if it were a human, and sat down and ate the entire picnic before trotting off into the woods. You know, come to think of it, I suppose I do have two fun bear stories. The other bear story occurred when a bunch of my friends and I were on a camping trip in a hunting cabin up in the woods. It was about 11 a.m. and we were all waking up after a long night of being up till 5 a.m. and doing some fireworks, because that's what you do when you camp, of course. Now, one of my friends had been up for about an hour and was downstairs making himself breakfast. He came upstairs to wake us up, and he said, "Hey, good morning, guys. How is everybody?" He asked us if anybody would like a sandwich for lunch. He was going to go make some. And then on his way down the stairs, he said, "Oh, and by the way, there's a black bear on the front porch. I thought you guys should know." The four of us sat bolt upright in our bed. I grabbed my camera and I quickly ran downstairs. He was not wrong. There was, in fact, a baby black bear on our front porch, sitting all picturesque and perfect. He was adorable, and the temptation to pet him was overwhelming, but I, of course, knew much better than that. We never did see the mother bear, thankfully, because that might have spelled disaster for us. Now for a little bit of space news. It was recently discovered, well, I can't even say that, this was back in 2015. I suppose now we're just deciding that this is important, but ice has been discovered on the surface of Pluto. The dwarf planet was once observed to have subsurface oceans. Now, this is noteworthy because liquid water was occurring on the planet Pluto, which implies that something was heating up this water, because otherwise it would be frozen, of course, like it is on the surface. But if there is water occurring underground on Pluto, that means that there is a possibility for life to occur on Pluto, which would be our closest example of extraterrestrial life. I'm a big fan of aliens. I would love it if aliens existed. That'd be so cool. Finally, in our last bit of news, a little bit of video gaming news. The players of Fortnite and Epic Games raised over $144 million for support of the Ukrainian refugees and the ongoing crisis and war in the Ukraine. Done in over just 2 weeks, this impressive sum will surely go to good use over in Ukraine. If any of you are watching from Ukraine, know that you have my full support, and I hope you are doing okay. I hope my videos can bring you some solace in this trying time. Well, friends, that is all the good news that I have for you today. This is a fun kind of video. I like getting to talk about some of the goofy, fun, and important things that are going on in the world, because I think we're bombarded with too much bad news and so much negativity in our lives, but hopefully this video was a blissful moment of a laugh and some comfort for you. So it's time for you to get some rest, so I'll see you in the next one. Good night, friends.